Okay, so I may be biased when I say that this is one of my favorite projects from this entire collection. I really love creating different types of projects with my Cricut, so this was one of them, definitely. I ended up trying out a soldering iron on wood. So I have these wooden squares here that I'm going to be using to make some coasters, and this is definitely a new project that I've never done before. Learning how to use this soldering iron was definitely trial and error, but we definitely are going to power through it. So this is what the soldering iron looks like. It comes with a lot of different tips. It comes with a plug that you're able to plug it in. It gets really hot. So with this project, you definitely want to be careful. I will give you guys a little bit of tips on how to be able to use it because I definitely had to continue learning myself. Go ahead and get your soldering iron out, and we are going to print the design on Cricut to be able to trace it out on the piece of board. Okay, so once I weeded out my design, which is the process of removing the excess pieces after the Cricut has cut everything out, I'm going to put the sticker onto the wood because this is going to help me trace out the design onto the wood that I'm going to be soldering. So, well, I'm just going to be burning it into the wood actually. So this process definitely takes a little bit of practice, but definitely if you have the patience and the time to just take some time to learn, it is definitely the most easiest thing once you get the gist of it. So let's go ahead and give that a try. I'm going to you can trace it out with a thin pencil, but I did end up using a small marker so that I would be able to see the lines when I am tracing it with the soldering iron. So this is definitely an important step to this process. Okay, so now that I'm done tracing my design with a dark brown pencil, I can now see my design to be able to trace it. You can see here I have my soldering iron. It also came with a small sponge as well as a little stand that you can place the hot soldering iron onto. So be careful when you're using this so that you don't burn your hands. Have the proper protection to be able to stay safe during this project. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by using this soldering iron. I just basically pretended like it was a pencil and I was tracing it. Like I said, I wasn't sure if this was going to work or not, so I just kind of went for it, and little by little I started to make tiny little designs. It was a little bit harder to get used to the fact that just because you glide it doesn't mean it's already burned, so I had to sort of hold it there for a little bit and then kind of trace it out step by step, and eventually everything started to come together smoothly, and you guys will see that here in the next few clips. Okay, so the reason why I put on the gloves is because this project, when you're using the soldering iron, releases like these fumes and it gets pretty hot around the handle. So I decided to put on some gloves just to protect my thumb from the impact of the heat, like touching my skin. So do what you can to protect yourself from this. Definitely be careful when you are using this. But anyways, this project is turning out really, really great. I really like how all of the designs came out. When I showed this to my family, they really thought that I used like a laser to get this design on there, and the funny thing is the laser is basically my Cricut that gave me the design to be able to sketch this onto the wooden plank here. So this was definitely such a fun project to do, so you guys should definitely let me know if you decide to do this project also. This is definitely a lot of fun. You guys can do this for the summertime. I love that I'm using these as little coasters, and you guys will see just how beautifully these turned out. I ended up making 2 of them, and I have a little bit more that I want to add to this project. I'm gonna go ahead and seal them and then also make sure that I add another sort of design to these so that they can have the finishing touch to them. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so after using the soldering iron and having my design nicely printed on both of these wooden squares, I'm going to take them outside to spray paint them, but first I have to seal them. So you guys saw that I used some Mod Podge to be able to give these a nice coat of sealant. So I'm also going to spray paint them with clear spray, but first I really want to spray paint them with this sort of diagonal design. So that is what I'm going to be doing here with the tape. So I'm going to be taking some tape, a small piece of newspaper, and covering up the design so that it doesn't get any spray paint on it, protect that. And I'm going to go ahead and just continue prepping both of these things. So making sure that both of them are dry before I take them outside to be able to spray paint them. I absolutely love using masking tape for all of these projects. It gives you a really good coverage for when you are painting things. And then the newspaper method is perfect because it doesn't let the spray paint seep under there. So it is the most cost-effective way to be able to cover up your project. So that is a really good tip for you guys to use. With the soldering iron, I wanted to give you guys a few tips on that. You do have the option of setting the temperature high or low. So you can see that on one of my designs, it's a little less burnt than the first one that I actually made. One of them is darker, so the darker one is the one where I had the temperature set way too high, but that is also a little minor issue. I'm making these coasters for my home, and I just am really proud whenever I'm able to make a new project. So that is why I love sharing these projects with you guys, so that you can also try them out yourself and place these items in your own home, especially functional items. So these coasters, I think, are going to be really beautiful when the time comes to use them on our living room table. I think it'll be perfect. Guests can use these, your family members can use these. It is a perfect way to make some coasters for your home. So let's go ahead and take these outside and spray paint them and get them ready, and we'll see what the final project looks like.